Good morning. A course in positive psychology for joyful learning is a very good course for all the students who want to enjoy their learning. I have developed this course keeping in mind all the students who are trying to learn under their own management, that is self-management, under their own management. Learning under one's own management is the real joy in life. The first lecture is positive psychology and education. In UK, this course, positive psychology, is being taught at school level. And the eminent researchers in positive psychology in the last 15-20 years have found that the potential of a general students can be optimally developed if the techniques that are developed in positive psychology are used by them. In countries like India, our best chance of happiness lies in education, because the enrollment in India for higher education is only 15%, and within next 5 years we want to get that enrollment in 30%. Then unless the students are enjoying the education, it is really very difficult to keep pace with the increase in the expansion of the education system. Most of the causes have little results and few transform life. Across the world, it has been found that the society which gives due status to the education is the developed society. All the underdeveloped societies are the societies where the education has not got its due place. This course is organized based on, in 2008 or so, I had read about Happier, the book, and this was the course which is most attended course in the Harvard University. My curiosity arose and I started reading that book. Afterwards, I got links which helped me in understanding the students in my institute, in my department, how they were telling me the difficulties in getting the education, what kind of difficulties they face when they are trying to learn. And I was getting clues to guide them when I was learning this. That's why two most popular books, or one of very good books which will help the students to learn on their own, I have kept here. Education transforms lives. I think the animation illustrates this. A caterpillar transforming into a butterfly is a process nobody can avoid. If somebody is trying to short shrift the process, then the beautiful butterfly, which everybody watches, observes, and children enjoy, elders enjoy, that will not be available. That's why for every human being to develop into his or her maximum potential is to transform into a butterfly. I think we all should try to convert ourselves, our potentials, into performance, and this is possible with positive education. Unless we overcome our self-imposed limits, most of the students face self-imposed limits, their potential they are underestimating. I wish this course should help them to get the optimal functioning. The aim of the positive psychology is scientific study of optimal human functioning. Martin Seligman is the person who popularized the word positive psychology when he was president of American Psychological Association. Education starts with thinking. One person cannot understand everything, but few together, a few students or a group of workers can attain something which is very difficult to achieve. Most of the scientific advances in the last 100 years are team efforts. We are all angels with only one wing, and we can fly embracing with each other. This is the motto that every student, if students are sharing what they are learning, the learning experience will be enhanced. And I wish everybody should get this enhanced learning experience. So the tuning of the thinking is very essential. Activity of using brain by considering a problem or a possibility, creating an idea, is thinking. Thinking forms connected ideas. Thinking is used to solve the problems. But is thinking limited only to solve the problems? In my opinion, that should not be the case. A problem is a deviation from the normal or a deviation from expected. If we are trying to come to the real point, go out of the deviation, then it's all right. Many times we want advancements. That time only thinking about problems may not help. Thinking for self-improvement is essential in one's development and joyful learning. Any intended mental activity is a problem is not a very right concept. I wish you can take 2 minutes, the student should take 2 minutes and write down, is intended mental activity is a problem only? Intended mental activity is a problem is misleading and dangerous conception. One can try to get and list out the points why it is dangerous. The answer is because if we consider intended mental activity as a problem, then creating a new design which is not existing, an existing design will have a problem. If you want to create a new design, then it is not a problem. It's new thinking, that is creative thinking. Many times proper perception gives us ideas. This perception will not be helping us if we are thinking only of the problems. Meditation is sitting quiet and trying to understand what we are learning. That also is essential from a student's perspective. Critical thinking comes from the word kritis, means judgment. Critical thinking is judgmental thinking and is not enough and cannot produce new ideas. Critical thinking can solve the problems which are existing. But if you want to circumvent the problem, if you want to put advancements in place, then critical thinking may not help, because judgment always is not allowing the person to flourish or to explore his potentials. Critical thinking is enough if we are in a state of decline. Like automobile, if it is on the slide, then you can arrest the slide by putting brakes and navigating it. So if you want to make progress, then you need joyful learning and creative thinking. Creative thinking and joyful learning is enjoyed across all the ages. Even old people also enjoy new ways of solving an earlier problem or enhancing the performance of an earlier object, gadget, whatever you say. In learning, it is very important to feel emotions when we learn. The generally felt emotions in human beings are stressed out, frustrated, angry, lonely, bored. These are the negative emotions. If we are able to get proper emotions, that is, when you are learning, feel happy. When you are learning, if teacher, student plus other students, they are feeling loving, they are working together, that also will be very helpful. When learning, if we are joyous, that's a very good excitement. Any new thing appears before the student, we feel excited. That is true across all the ages. If we are feeling relieved, a problem is solved, then we feel relieved. Here, relieved is taken at the last, because when we are solving the problem, that comes. Why we should not live joyfully then? If every day is a challenge, and if we have all the skills to face the challenge, then every day should be a joyful living for us. Man is born to live and prepared to live. We are all born to live, and we live most of the time very happily. So when we are learning, that should be continued. We know too much and feel too little. So we are trying to acquire the knowledge. When we are trying to acquire the knowledge, the feel that we should get, that this is enhancing my personality, this is enhancing my future prospects of better learning, that should be there. At least we feel too little of those creative emotions from which a good life springs. And a good life springs from feeling excited, feeling joyous, acquiring the skills which will help in future. Create lasting change to learn with life. Every person can create in his small changes which will help him to learn with joy. For this, what we require? 3 simple steps will ensure that every person or every student can learn with joy. One should expect to raise his or her standard. Raising standard, if that is innate, then automatically the force to improve oneself comes. Change your limiting beliefs. If we are trying to know what are the limiting beliefs, definitely we can demolish those limiting beliefs and try to reach our full potential. And to reach full potential, we have to change the strategies. Like an ant, when it is moving from one place to another place, it changes the path. It changes path. Somebody, whatever may be the obstacle, unless it circumvents the path, it is not going to go to the other side. And it always does it. We see that's an everyday experience. Then why human beings should not acquire that? Joyful education will help us in improving major areas of life. Mastery of these 5 areas of life are essential for a happy life. Emotional, physical, time. How we use time is very critical, and if we learn how to use time constructively, will definitely be very better. Everybody wants financial, but I have kept it later because the one who acquires emotional, physical and time mastery automatically is going to get financial mastery in his life. And only money is not essential. Relationship is also very essential. With emotional upliftment, relationship will definitely be bettered automatically with enhancing the educational skills. Real learning is not reading and writing. Real learning is turning ideas into reality. We want a happy life. Happy life is an idea. It's not a script. So we must be able to change our activities to lead to a happy life by learning. Learning makes the world of difference. That already I have said. Every society which is developed is very well educated society. Education empowers an individual for application of knowledge to common purpose of life. See, we may be watching the same. See, sand was there in India as well. But the semiconductor technology is developed in the countries where the education was very good. So, with the sand available, if we were able to do the semiconductor industries, we would have a very much better place compared to those states today, because we have to import everything when it comes to electronic gadget. The life-changing technologies that are developed in the last 100 years are listed here. Electrification. When Edison was experimenting to get the light bulb, he failed so many times. He persevered that thing and he was enjoying that process. So somebody who is trying to create a new thing and enjoys gets the credit like this. Most of the other technologies, automobile, airplane, safe and abundant water, electronics, radio, television, agriculture, mechanization, these are the efforts of the people who joyfully learned and implemented the strategies that they developed in the laboratories into very good industries. And they are now, particularly space exploration, internet. This program itself is ensuring that this technology, connecting computers with wires, within a very short span of time has connected all the world. Imaging technologies are helping to get the diseases of the human body without penetrating it, without causing any pain to the person. So all these are great technologies. With joyful education only this could. Now, before we enter into the core, let's see if a person wants to get reward or benefits in his career, he has to put what he wants most. What are the priorities? These priorities in 10 are there, and my priority I have listed by a hash on the right side. This would be different for every student who is listening to this program or listening to the lecture. He should decide the priorities. Unless he or she changes the strategies to suit his or her priorities, the education cannot be totally joyful. If one wants to get joyful education, one has to see this. And a teacher cannot ensure for every student to get these strategies. So my aim to develop this course was every student should be able to get the strategies which are enhancing his learning experiences. Thinking mechanism, we must understand thinking mechanism. Thinking mechanism is like engine. It is a metaphor. Engine is a metaphor for thinking. Without steering wheels, without interconnected roads, that engine is useless. With interconnected roads, with steering wheel, you can move from one point to the other point at will with minimum time. People were moving on foot when they got engine. Automobile, they were moving with automobile. People move with aeroplanes as well. The time is limited, but remember, the travel time is minimized at the cost of the technology that is used, and the people who are developing the technology, they are putting their maximum efforts in thinking. When Wright brothers were trying to get the aeroplane, even great scientists were calling them mad. They were saying, how is it possible that a heavier than air, material can float in the air. But Wright brothers were thinking in a very different way, creative way. They were thinking, see, paper is heavier than air and it floats. The question is stabilizing. If paper I can put as a platform and put chairs on the paper, it would be an airplane. And that is airplane. Today everybody rejoices when he travels in the aeroplane. Many excellent minds capable of creative thinking and able to contribute to the society are trapped and channeled into excellent critical mind. You go around in your life, you will find that people criticize each other. So criticizing is a very common thing. The people who are trying to give solutions, they are observing but without judgment. I think students should turn into such individuals who are thinking for proposing solutions rather than putting criticism forth. Joyful learning fosters creative thinking. The major uses of creativity are simplicity. Earlier computers were programmed with punch cards. So Steve Wozniak connected keyboard with the computer. The immediate feedback was available. When you write A is appearing on the screen. That changed the life. But for Steve Wozniak to interface a keyboard to the computer was a huge job, which he was doing. And even people at that time in his company were not able to understand the importance of it. He was allowed to use that for his own purposes, and Apple is the company which Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak later formed with that concept. So students can transform the people's life. That is one of the best examples. There is no natural tendency towards simplicity. Naturally, people are not thinking to make things simple. We have to think very intensely to make the things simple. Using creative thinking deliberately is one of the most important practical uses of creativity. Joyful learning fosters creative thinking, because when you are enjoying what you are doing, the possibility that you come out, you destroy the limiting beliefs is more, and as you destroy the limiting beliefs, as I told you in the case of aeroplane, you get definitely some very new things. Right thinking attention is essential. The danger of treating thinking as a problem solving is that the focus of our attention is on the problems and deficiencies and not on enhancement or advancements, which may be very easy to do, but we are not ready to do it because we are concentrating only on solving the problems. What is not a problem does not get our required right thinking attention. So right thinking attention is to think about the problem non-judgment, without judgment, and try to think of the solutions thereafter. The reality may be that some imperfect processes which are not the current focus of attentions are giving rise to the problem. Here I will take the example of Alexander Fleming. He had prepared the penicillin and kept it outside, and he was trying with new things. So his solution was lying aside and he was trying to get new solutions. And one day when he saw that one particular combination is giving the results which he desires, he took it. He did the right thinking. If he would have discarded permanently, then he would not have got the solution at all. This is creative thinking. Right thinking attention is essential for creative thinking. Problem solving approaches severely limit our attention to thinking as use of thinking. They distract our attention energy from what are the areas that need energy and attention. Many times problems are not needing your attention. When you are to increase, expand the education system base, it is not a problem. It is a constructive solution to the huge human resource that is available in India. Sometimes our energy gets frittered away by thinking on the problem, but a solution may be just outside the focus of attention. Here, I'll give you the example of 9-dot attention. We have to join these 9 dots with 4 lines without lifting the pen. Unless we increase our focus of attention, unless we broaden our vision, this solution is not available. The animation clearly shows the solution. See, we have not restricted ourselves in the 3x3 grid. Our attention span has gone beyond that 3x3 grid, and that is where the solution lies. This is the only solution available for this problem. So this is the creative solution. We require courage to propose the solution. Happy films are very difficult to make, so most of the time you will find that the films end with tragedies. But if tragedy is so rampant, then why human race is populating earth? It is increasing. Actually, happiness should be more. That's why we are all alive. But most of the time, happy films are not made because they are difficult to make. That's why they are not. If a very good happy film is made, everybody would like and they will rejoice to see it. Media cannot escape easily from the negative approach. Circulation is one of the main concerns, and that is really making the media that way. If media indulges in constructive education of the population of India, I feel we will be developed country in a very short time span. Proposing solutions to the existing problems requires more energy. One requires courage to attempt in such a way. So I wish my students should develop this habit of developing the solutions. That's why this course is developed. We need to think our way out of the depression and boredom. Many times when we are attending the lectures, the feeling of boredom comes out. Or after a difficult subject is learned after 10-15 lectures, a mild depression, that also may come. So we have to devise the strategies, because unless we master those subjects, we are not going to get the opportunities that are there in the world for us. Obvious solutions are not awarded handsome prizes, but a very unique solution which is not existing in the world really gets very good prizes. We want to win that prizes in the coming times. Joyful learning is reflecting on the strength, setting ambitious goals, taking risk, stretching beyond comfort zones, finding healthy mean between comfort and panic zones. You'll find that unless you exercise regularly, the muscles are not developed. See, the brain is not seen by the human beings. Unless we do the brain exercises, how are we going to become powerful learner? Unless we become a powerful learner, we cannot get our share of the technologies. We need to create new technologies for solution of Indians. UK or US industries are not going to create the solutions for Indian problems. They are trying to get profit from the Indian markets. So by that they are giving some solutions, but the real solutions for the Indians will emerge only when the Indians are reflecting on the strengths of their brains and trying to solve Indian problems. Joyful learning is about reflecting on setting ambitious goals. We have to set ambitious goals. So if we are setting ambitious goals, means we have to acquire new skills. With the new skills, we can get those goals realized. So that will definitely be, so you look at our president, APJ Abdul Kalam. He set ambitious goals and met those goals. So he made India proud. So everybody in India can make India proud. When you are going for ambitious goals, there will be some risk. So when we are taking risk, it should be right risk, minimizing the dangers of the risk. We can always take risk. Without risk, you cannot progress. One cannot progress without risk. Risk is essential for progress. Now, unless I go out of my comfort zone, I cannot get good education. Something which I know will not require any effort to learn again, or something really is very incremental change is okay with some effort. But if you want to learn new technology, somebody is interested in learning a very new technology which is not available in India. So he has to go outside, learn those technologies and come back. See, Vasantrao Govarikar came back and developed the fuel for space program. So UK today don't have the space program, but we are putting 10 satellites in one go. So that's what there is. But when he came to India, he was working in a church without ceiling for some time. And the ISRO is the organization where he started to work. Unless we go beyond our comfort zones, it's not possible to enjoy the education. Education is about reflecting between, that is finding healthy mean between comfort and panic zone. If you are in the panic state, you cannot learn, because now the absorbing capacity of the brain becomes less. If you are in comfort zone, then also you cannot learn new things, because so the challenge is not there. If right challenge is posed, then only we get enhanced experience of learning and the joy will be there. That's why a child will first try to walk. Unless it walks, it does not stop. So how many times he falls while walking, we know. It is not his comfort zone. But once he develops it, that comfort zone will stay him and make independent of his parents all through his life. Positive psychology is about creative thinking is about finding happiness while growing as a person and professionally. And positive psychology helps in that. See, I should find my happiness while learning. I should grow as a person while learning, individually as well as professionally. Positive psychology is generally referred to as the scientific study of optimal human functioning. Optimal human functioning is possible only when we stretch. Right? Many people realize their potential at a later age, and after realizing the potential, they start putting hard work. But if you are putting really hard work in your student life, then your potential is developed there, and all the life in adulthood is available for you to reap the benefits. So everybody should try that. We should learn the habit of working happily. There are no shortcuts for meaningful change. Meaningful change requires some real efforts, and we should undertake those real efforts. As we learn walking in the early childhood that way, we should take that happily. Joyful learning should imbibe the habit of working hard with enthusiasm. One should learn with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm gives you a lot of good things. People are ready to help you, you are ready to help others. We must learn to avoid the boredom while working in the middle of the difficulties. The difficulties will be there. When you are learning without difficulty, somebody has learned I have never heard in my life, and nobody will tell you that I have learned without difficulty. The aim of this course is to inculcate the habit of working happily in the middle of the difficulties for a meaningful purpose. And the meaningful purpose is a happy adult life for every student who is learning, taking education. Albert Einstein had said, in the middle of the difficulty lies the opportunity. See, he challenged the Newton's theory 300 years after that, and he's challenged it successfully. So he was thinking about the extension, advancement of the sciences. That's why he could get it. So he was thinking, see, most of the physicists that time were innately understanding that the speed of the light will be the limiting speed, but he explicitly put on paper. He took the risk. If that comes out to be wrong, then he would have punished, or he would have not got the fame that he has. And he persisted with his things, and everything came correct. So unless you take risk, unless you work in difficulties, it is really very difficult to get good results. Happiness is the word that is used for joy, bliss, ecstasy. English words which are equivalent to happiness and used in everyday word. Contentment. When you get a sumptuous meal, feel you content. So similarly, when you hear a very good lecture, you should feel content, and that feeling one can develop while learning. Pleasure. See, we indulge in something, and then first we want to eat something, prepare that, that's an effort, and then take, and then it is contentment. Similarly, a skill is to be acquire that skill and then enjoy that skill, using that. Cycling. Driving four-wheeler. Somebody who is not able to do it, but the person who is driving with confidence has acquired it over time and with some effort. So put those efforts. Delight, glad, cheerfulness. Associate your experiences with the right emotions that will enhance the learning experiences. See, most of the emotions are transients. When we are learning, we may get a feel that we are bored, but in the long run, that new skill that you are acquiring while learning will give you monetary benefits, or people will appreciate you for that. That's why most of the transient emotions are to be seen in the right spirit. The experience of happiness can